Yo, if I.
Yeah. Man, I gained 10 pounds eating the red and the green M&Ms, bro. So quick I'll chop it up today. How you brothers been for the week, man?
Oh, we've been good, man. We've been good.
Yeah.
We can't ignore the ratings. I mean, this light skin thing is working for me and Derik.
I heard it. It's more market. Where do we start?
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Let's Chop It Up. Please follow us, like us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Before we get started tonight, also comment. We want to get those comments, and you see we respond to the good, the bad, and ugly comments. Before we get started tonight, we want to do a little tribute to our late, great Biz Markie, who passed away at the age of 57. We'll have a moment of silence for the great Biz. Great Biz Markie, man. Gonna miss that brother, man. Very talented brother, very slept on. His catalog is seriously long. Please check it out and look at the history of Biz Markie. He's on a lot of joints. You'll know some of the stuff he has produced behind. One of the first best rappers ever changed from a rapper to a DJ. Before we get started, I want to see, like, my man Rod, you're a hip hop head, man. What is your favorite Biz Markie song?
My favorite Biz Markie is Nobody Beats the Biz. That's my favorite Biz Markie song. I thought the beat with that together and him rhyming, I just thought it was just the way it went together was just amazing.
Nobody beats the Biz.
Nobody beats the Biz. Yes, y'all and chilling like beating. Yeah,
that was classic.
The thing is, you remember like back in the 80s, like when that came on, that would get a party jumping, especially how the beat came on. Dun, 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 dun,
in your
dun,
car
dun.
system.
Yeah, what it did to a car system was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Biz story.
Right.
You guys remember Yo Gabba Gabba?
Of course, he was part of that.
Correct. I didn't know that until I took my daughter to Yo Gabba Gabba show.
Yeah.
Well, I took my daughter to a Yo Gabba Gabba show. That was her thing. You know, each one of my kids had their own thing that they followed when they was a kid. So Yo Gabba Gabba was one of my youngest. So I remember taking her to, I think it was the Beacon Theater, and seeing Yo Gabba Gabba. And I remember, you know, for a parent going through that, especially like a father sitting there watching that, it was complete torture to sit there as a parent watching these weirdo little characters on the stage. And then all of a sudden, unbeknownst to me, they introduced Biz Markie. And I went crazy, and I was the only one yelling in the crowd. And all the parents was looking at me, and I was like, "Nah, y'all was yelling when those little creeps in the costume was on. Now you laughing at me because I'm cheering for Biz? You gotta be kidding me!" He came out there beatboxing and like doing like I think like the alphabet or something for the kids or whatever. But to me, that was the best part of the show, and that's one of my memories of Biz Markie.
Great Biz. Derik, what's your favorite Biz song, brother?
Yo, I got so many, but to Rodney's point just now, if he heard you screaming, I know he probably did. You probably made his night too, man. Because that was not the experience that he was expecting.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
for real. But I don't know, man. Biz got so much of a catalog, like you say, man. He's got so many. I'm gonna go probably, I'm gonna say Biz is going off, man. You know,
the Biz. I'm going off.
The Biz, come on, and the dance, come on, that one had to dance to it, bro. Damn, if you didn't do nothing with that, I don't know, man.
Yo, Derik, do that one more time. Do that dance.
Come on, bro. You know that.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
That was my man, dog, and that was the joint, man, for real. And I think it might have been his first hit or first song. I can't remember if it was that or if it was Nobody Beats the Biz. But I think that might have been his first, like his initial release.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But again, it's so many. You can't go wrong with my man. God bless him.
Yeah, man. Kelvin, your favorite Biz song?
First of all, I apologize because I know my Wi-Fi is trashed tonight. But if you can hear this, I want to say the Vapors. You know, the Vapors it was just
That was the shit.
because it transcends every generation. It's true. I mean, it's almost like
That's another car banging beat, man. That's another car banging beat.
No question.
And that was the first. That was kind of introduction almost to Kane a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Kane wrote most of his stuff, I heard.
Yeah, at times he wrote some of his stuff because Kane. Yeah. And Kane used to battle and stuff like that too.
It's like you just said. It never expired. The Vapors. The Vapors, to me, was the first hater song. That's basically talking about
hater. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, that was the first hater song. That people know that there's haters out here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. What's up with you, D? What's your favorite, man? What you think of?
I like Make the Music.
Yeah.
Make the music.
I go with that one. TJ Swan, man.
Yeah.
Biz, I got one Biz story. I met Biz. Jamie and I met Biz when we used to. Jamie and I used to do this hip hop show in college called Let's Chop Out, called Check It Out, right? And we met Biz. We was interviewing. It was a Source magazine. When the Source magazine was only a few pages. This is going way back to like 1990, 91, maybe 92. And Biz came down. My man Spec came in and started battling, freestyling. And then I saw them. Spec was killing all. It was Lord Finesse there. Everybody's killing it. And I was doing the interviews, interviewing these rappers. And then I saw Biz. We was in Queens. And he saw me and Spec coming down. He said, "Oh, here come the country boys, the farm boys. And nobody out here could see them." That Biz was like, that was a shot. Like Biz, was like, "Yo, this dude is nice." Like, but every time I seen Biz, he's always in good spirits. Everybody loved him. That's why so much love for him. And actually, I think he got over 70 million downloads according to News Weekly. So, for the song, "She's Just a Friend." So, Biz, he was talented, man, super talented. And a lot of people, that's like Flavor Flav. A lot of people sample his voice.
Yes.
A lot of songs, you know. So people forget.
Please, I hope you had a will.
Let me just say this. For Just a Friend, I just read this week that the person who was supposed to sing the hook didn't show up. That's why he did it.
Wow.
It came out better. I can't imagine that being any other way. Yeah. And his crazy voice, he made the song. Because it was like you didn't have to take it so serious. You know? Right. And that's what was wonderful about him. You didn't have to take him so serious. He didn't take himself so serious. It just allowed you to just enjoy yourself, man.
And he was from everywhere. Like when Biz lived in Long Island, Harlem, Bronx. Red Alert was telling old stories about him. I mean, LL Cool J was talking about when he used to come to his house. Kwame talking about how he used to call his mother house, and the mother used to pick up the phone and say, "Who's on the phone?" Said, "It's Kwame's father." And she used to crack up. So everybody has a good Biz story. That's number love. That's why everybody's the well wishes. Like, my grandmother would say, "The way you die shows the way you live." So he lived a beautiful life, man. So
and Derek, you hit a point there. He didn't take it too seriously. He had fun with it. And let's be totally honest with you. Biz had a hit called Pickin' Boogers.
Oh my God! Hey mom, what's for dinner?
That's right.
Off your nose
and pick a winner.
He's the only one that could have did it too.
Only one could have
did it. How about this?
Yeah.
Sitting on the toilet, waiting for my bowels to move. I got a doo-doo rap. I got a doo-doo.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to be like a killer. He wasn't trying to be like a thug. He was a funny guy that could rap. And he just had this charisma about him.
He wasn't into the girls. He was just into his music.
and think about Tony. Like Shaq said it before. Like he's big, right? And Biz ain't the most handsome dude, but being funny made people love him and last so long. Like think how many generations, like you said, Rod, from the '80s to you talking about the 2021, and people still loving Biz.
Yeah,
come on, man. That's a lot of love, man. That's a lot of love you gave out, man.
Yeah,
get it back.
I used to always tell people, I said, when it comes to the ladies, if you're funny, that's going to take you a long way.
Yeah, always. Take the panties.
Take you really a long way.
Let me say this. You got to salute all the rappers that's making it to 60-something, man. Because I'm telling you, 50s is like I don't know what it is with rappers in the 50s, man. DMX 50 years old, him 57, he's still a young guy,
Yeah, that's why it's important to take care of yourself. You gotta take care of yourself.
No hard living, no drugs, no stress, eating right. Biz was type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, you gotta realize too, in entertainers' life, they're doing shows late, they're hanging out late, they're going to clubs, they're not getting a lot of sleep, they're traveling a lot. So that takes a toll on your body. Definitely takes a toll on your body.
And listen to some of Biz interviews, he was talking about being up 8 in the morning and the song just him, because he said he never did it all night in the studio, he was in style. But he was talking about I was 8 o'clock in the morning. I was like, damn, 8 o'clock in the morning, you just coming up with the hook? I'm like, man, that's a long night, bro. Not getting no sleep and eating bad, eating on the road, fast food.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I don't know. Great, but let's great. The Biz Markie, we will miss you, man. I would have witnessed his homecoming. If it's going to be on television, I will be tuning in for the Biz. Yeah. So, any gentlemen, how was your week, man? I see you guys in 7 days. Derik, how was your week, my brother?
Yo, what can I say, man? Just just a real easy week. I'm just really a little bit of preparation for this weekend. Actually, my brother is coming into town, and he's celebrating his 50th. So, I'm really enjoying that. Looking forward to some family time. We're going to do an old school family thing. If anybody's ever been, the people who've ever been to my parties, my family parties, they know the backyard barbecues are epic. And we're definitely looking forward to getting some of that back, So, and I'm just enjoying that. I'm enjoying the possibilities of that and the thought of that, and just being with my kids, man. So other than that, man, just a good week, man, and just enjoying being here, fellas, because this is the highlight of my week, man, for real.
What's up? My brother Rodney, how was your week, brother?
Same here, easy going week. I did a lot of relaxing. Me and my wife sat in the backyard and just chilled and kick it. Had a couple of drinks. Talked about some things we wanted to do down the road. And basically dealing with softball with the girls, but pretty much a real easy, laid back week. I got nothing else to report.
Okay. Kelvin, how was your week, my brother?
You know what? It was pretty much a native-free week, which was good so far.
It's always good.
Fireworks wasn't on display because of so much rain or something like that, but it was uneventful, which was cool. So, we had this kind of like midway point, I think, in the summer, and I feel pretty good. The weather's been a little up and down, but it's cool. So the week is good, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah,
that's what's up. Yeah, this week got construction going on. Some windows put in my house. God damn it! I know wood over that. Wood is so damn high right now. Wood is high. Wood is almost high as a key of cocaine. Yeah, I could probably get drugs without people not get wood. I might start selling wood on the street instead of selling weed and coke. I'm not gonna lie. Wood is high, motherfucker, man.
Yeah,
I ain't never seen what is wood. I mean, the number 2 pencil must be like a gram of coke.
Yeah.
I'm chopping down trees. Anybody want a tree chopped down? Just
lumber right now. Lumber's the move. Because I think like 2x4 doubled in price. You're right. It's like it's cheaper to get a brick of coke. It's definitely cheaper to get a brick of coke.
Yo, let me ask one question really quickly, and this is going to kind of refer back to other show. I want to just ask a question. If you have a house and there's about 30 different stray cats that are on your property at any given time, how do you handle that? Because of course, I want to make sure that the cats are safe. That's the biggest thing. So is there a way we can relocate them?
I'm a cat lover. I'm a cat lover.
Right. So I'm asking you as a cat lover.
You can't get them relocated. We call it like the ASPCA or one of those places to come. But also, just get a dog.
Well, I don't know how to break the bad news to you, but when is the last time you seen a dog chase a cat? Dogs don't chase cats no more.
The dogs.
You got people that got a cat and a dog in the same house now.
I used to be one of those people.
Yeah. So the thing is, dogs ain't chasing cats no more. That's one of the things that have changed in society.
The dogs turn to bitches.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure because
everything masculine, they attack it.
Right. Well, see, as much as we all love cats, I just want to make sure that the cats, because I don't want them stuck here on my property. They're not happy there. So I just want to see them go.
Well, at least you won't have any mice.
Yeah.
But throw down some mothballs. They can't stand that smell, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But also, I went to the Little Island in West Side Highway. You can check it out. It's on West Side Highway in Manhattan, in New York. So it's a good little look. You can bring the kids in, safe, fun.
I heard it's nice.
Yeah, it's really, very, very nice.
If you can basically gently catch the cats and you take them to the ASPCA, then they should accept them.
Yeah, because I think they deserve a home. I don't.
Yeah, you should. That's what you should do. Yeah.
If you can find other animal shelter, because sometimes that might be death row for some of the cats. ASPCA. I'm just saying.
Hey, listen. Once they get to the SPCA, then there's nothing we can do about it.
Right. I just want them in good hands. That's all.
Yeah.
All right.
Do that.
Leave the cats alone. I'm gonna come over there and grab me one of them cats. Anyway, in politics, man, Alabama lawmaker uses a racist slur, recorded council member face calls to resign. Facing calls to resign. So, Jamie, can you play the video to that?
The N-word. I mean, hey, do we have a house nigger in here? Yeah. Do we? Hey, do we? Would she please stand up? Yeah, I was seeing it right.
Man.
Yo, let me say something, right? And I know that we try to refrain from this word, but sometimes it's appropriate. When
Go ahead.
no, the thing is, where's a real nigga when you need one? Because the thing is, somebody should have jumped up and said, "No, ain't no house niggas in here, but there's some real niggas in here," and they should have jumped on his ass.
Oh, yeah, word.
I don't know. We lost Kelvin, but listen, if ever there was a time for one to be in the room, that was it. What's good, Damien? What's happening, brother?
What's up, baby?
Yeah, man.
Right, you said it best. I know we don't like to use that word here on that chop. Let's chop it up.
Yeah,
but now you want to see the real one come up. But that's the time when it should have came out. Now the thing he attacked, what he did, he attacked a black woman right there. Right?
And that's the other thing. That's the other thing. He wouldn't have said that to no man, bro.
No, he wouldn't have said to no alpha male like us.
To no real, to a real.
Nah,
you know.
Nah. Yeah, be comfortable with that, man.
That place should have blew up if it had the right people in there. Like, and I'm not talking about planting a bomb or anything like that.
No.
I'm talking about basically the situation should have been severely addressed.
Yeah.
You know, but
wait, like my favorite song, Kelvin, "Try Jesus."
Yo, let me tell you something. As soon as that came off, my computer shut down just because it knew where I was going.
Yeah. Kelvin, what's your thoughts on that, man? I'm gonna give you. Oh, I forgot his name. His name is John Tommy Bryant.
Definitely put it out there. Definitely put that out there.
John Tommy Bryant.
And let the internet do its job.
Yes. Because I woke up to that this morning.
Yeah.
I just think at the end of the day, man, for something, and I think it's something that people have been alluding to, the fact that it's so natural, the fact that it's so effortless, it just seems like that they are empowered to just disrespect people like that. And again, I've said this for the longest, I've been touting it. The reality of it is this: certain people know certain communities you don't mess with, and ours is easy prey. It's easy. There's no repercussion. There's no recourse. And not only that, the man doubled down. So he may run for mayor. I'm talking about he actually, they even gave him a chance. Would you do anything different? He was like, absolutely not.
Right.
They asked him, are you a racist? The man said it depends on what your definition of a racist is. So, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, man, I just think there has to be a way. And I always believe the first thing is to make people feel it financially. That's the first thing.
Yeah,
hit them in the pocket.
And you got to think about that. This is why they don't want to have critical race theory, which should be called critical race facts. The theory is somebody's thought, and facts. So this is why they want to get rid of it, because they want to just say all this crazy stuff and say there's no racism. They want to just discount everything that comes out of their mouth. Like, that's what's it called? Alternative facts. Even if I said it, that's alternative fact. I didn't say that. We just heard them this time on camera call somebody a house nigga.
They get real bold. It just, it's just, real matter of fact. And, what we going to do? We going to complain. We're going to be shocked and appalled. We're going to share it on Facebook. Everybody, we're going to do nothing. That's what
what disturbs me is the fact that the lady was so emotionally distraught that she had to get up and leave. Now, she live in Alabama, okay? I mean, you just got to return serve. And I'm not saying you got to get ugly or whatever like that, but you don't let somebody run you out like that. You just don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
You gave them power.
Right. Let me tell you something. These words are disturbing to me. They're not crushing to me. Right. They're not going to crush my spirit with it. They're not going to, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I mean, what we could do is we could have a civil discussion, or we can get out there on that concrete. But them days back in the day where you could just kind of like spout off and just disrespect people, those days are over. Nobody's trying to hear that anymore. And I hate the fact that the lady was so hurt by it, you know what I mean, that she had to get up and leave, because you don't let somebody run you out of a place like that. And I know it's tough, but I've heard it, and to me, that's their go-to word. That to them, that's the game changer.
They get a rise out of you. They know they get a rise out of you every time you sit there, and we oblige them every time. See, when we were coming up, there was certain things. Thursday, certain shit you just didn't do. You just didn't say certain things. There were repercussions for just coming up and saying something in somebody's presence that way. And that's no longer there. I don't know if that's off the table now or whatever it is, but
Yeah, but Kelvin said it best. But the only thing they understand is money loss and blood loss. So you see, he would have probably had to lose some blood that day. Because I don't care if we're in chambers. I don't care. It's always a proper time to get it on. it's always.
That might have been the time. I got to admit, that might have just been the time.
The only thing we have is space, and you already presented me the opportunity. So now let's get it on. Like that black man, I know he's trying to stay calm. Though, sitting there, and he said, "You see, we got this on camera." I would have raised up out of my seat.
Yeah. And
I would have smacked fire at him because once, like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until you fucking get punched in the face, right? So that would have been like, okay, you got this. You got to say some words like "bong," punch him in the face. Now I keep saying that shit. Every time they get punched in the face, they would stop saying that shit.
Yeah, you just understand what you said. That's why you got punched in the face. There shouldn't be no ambiguity. Everybody understands exactly what. Right. That's why you got your shit. Your snot bot rock. Yeah. Everybody should know that. You know.
And just plead temporary insanity in court. That's all.
There you go.
Say I lost control because I was so upset.
Yeah.
Yo, articulation, man. You need articulation in this dealing with certain things. You know. Oh, you gotta be able to articulate.
And the other trending news of the day, this is some real slave bullshit, cooning shit. Jamie, please show the pictures of this guy engagement with the interracial couple gets engaged, right? And they decide to take these free slave pictures. She's the housewoman. He fell in love with her with his shackles on his hands, kissing her.
It is bullshit.
Cooning.
Look, this bullshit.
Shucking and jiving. Now, this is a Sambo. A Sambo in a sunken place.
I'm sure his parents are very proud of him.
They probably are.
Yeah.
They probably are.
I'm being sarcastic.
Look, man, they raised him. That's how he turned out. You know.
Yo, that's just amazing. That's some.
He got their values.
Serious.
He got their values.
You know what bothers me? I'm gonna tell you what bothers me. It's not what they did. It's the responsibility of the people in their lives that did not call this out. I mean, you have to have, even if you have some ridiculous thought or idea, and it does not get more ridiculous, it does not get more buffoonish than that. Who is your circle? Who is the person that you confide in and confide with that you showed this to and they would get cool with it? For you to show it to the world, because it had to be somebody.
No, you got a point, Kelvin, because somebody there was a photographer there, obviously.
Somebody signed off on this.
Yeah, there were some things going on. Yeah,
I totally disagree with y'all, and I know you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I totally disagree with you. And let me tell you why.
Yeah, nobody did as far as we know, Damien. Yeah.
This is what I see, right?
All right.
This is him, and you say his circle. His circle is her circle.
You're right.
He's around people like
he's around.
And this is him trying to be accepted into her circle.
Yeah.
That's why he's doing this. Yeah. So the thing is, he not around dudes like us because he would have never did nothing like that.
Right.
Because he would be out of our circle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
immediately.
That's who he's around. He's around people like her. And the thing is, it kind of show you where she stands because guess what? She agreed to it as well. She said, "Yeah,
but he thinks
do this cooning act."
First of all, he thinks he married up. He think he got a promise. That's the first thing.
He's trying to fit into the upper circle.
Right. That's the first thing.
Got him some glory.
Right. So in his mind, he bucking the system like, y'all try to keep us apart with slavery and everything like that. But look, I made it anyway. That's what that's about. You know what I'm saying? So to make a long story short, the first guy in Alabama, they need to make him watch that video. That's what they need. They made
Thank you, Damien. Thank you.
All right. Damien, we're gonna check your show out too, man. Coming up, man.
Word, good up. What's the divorce going to look like though? Because that's not going nowhere. That relationship's not going nowhere.
You can't divorce a slave. She owns him.
Rodney. He gonna feel what slavery really feel like.
No doubt. No doubt.
He's really gonna feel something when he go to divorce court. It's not gonna be no jokes then.
He's gonna have to buy his freedom.
Yeah, he really is.
Divorce my freedoms.
Yeah.
No, the part that really bothers me though, just like in The Color Purple, when he got to drive her home to her family, and then she's scared to drive back. He can't stay. That's what's gonna bother me.
Yo, he really gonna be driving Miss Daisy.
Dude, he's gonna be in the front driving, and she's gonna be in the back,
like Django.
Yeah.
Yo,
it's gonna be crazy.
Crazy.
I don't know what he was thinking when he did something like that.
That's why I'm saying somebody's got to step to you.
Consciousness by doing something like that.
And be like, my man, are you kidding me? With shackles on? I mean, you just really, honestly. I mean,
had a straw hat on like Yes, a Boston.
Yeah, no question.
Definitely Yes, a Boston.
You got to see the video where he tap dancing next.
Yeah.
There goes the coon. Another trending news, NBA legend Scottie Pippen puts his Chicago mansion on Airbnb for $92 a night.
That's crazy.
Would you guys stay in Airbnb? What's your thoughts?
What? Let me tell you
First of all, let me say this. This is foul. This is foul. First of all, I hate to say this because this is going to sound foul. I can see why when they was on the Bulls that Scottie was the 82nd highest paid player. Because I look at Jordan stuff. My man, Scottie got one basket in that gym. I mean, like,
I'm done.
I'm sorry.
You play half court.
I can't front about. I read the whole thing about you can play a game of horse or one-on-one. I'm like, that's all you can play.
That's all you can play.
But no, I think I'm gonna just say this across the board. I think Scottie Pippen has problems. I think Scottie Pippen is going through something. Really, I've been listening to his interviews and stuff lately. Scottie is going through some type of identity complex. There is something he don't want to be Scottie Pippen no more. He want to be the number one, and he's Scottie. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what, man?
What is the reason for this? Like, what, $92 for the night? What is this?
Very simple, Rodney. Very simple. Scottie is trying to sell this book. That's why you see Scottie right now. Scottie just want to be in the news.
Yeah, he want to be. That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's everything, Scottie. Scottie. You know what I'm saying? I can't help it, Damien. You know what it is. I mean, Scottie right now, everything. He got a new bourbon that's out that he's trying to sell, and he's selling the book. So Scottie right now is on a promo tour by any way to get people to talk about Scottie Pippen. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yo, the house goes on sale tomorrow, correct?
It's on sale?
No, not on sale.
Not on sale for you to go into.
So it is 4 people can rent it. 4 people can use it. 4 dates.
4. Okay, I got a great idea.
Right.
Let the 4 of us try to rent it. And you know
I'm
what
with
I'm gonna do?
I can handle 92.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in there and blow Scottie Pippen's bathroom up. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna blow that spot up.
You could drop a ring along in there, bro.
Yo, you got to. I gotta leave a part of me there, and I know that sounds gross, but this is what he's gonna get for renting it to us for $92 a night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's gonna get some real native. He's gonna get some real native response, man. At some point, man. You know,
he said the only request he has is don't make too much noise for the neighbors or something like that.
Yeah, too late, man. Because me and I was actually like, damn, 92. I was like, if we didn't get to connect, me and my wife are leaving next weekend. I was like, damn, maybe we need to try out, man. What's up? Can you imagine, man?
Scottie Pippen's house.
Yeah, man. Right. There you go, Rick. Oh,
yo, that's a good idea.
That's a good
idea. Let's try to get it and shoot the show from there. Look like ballers.
Damon, you come, we do your show first, and then we do our show. We can do it again, man.
There you go.
That'd be dope.
And then you know what's gonna happen?
What happened?
I'm gonna start getting mail there. Scottie gonna have to take me to court. We not leaving there. We can't get us.
You gonna squat on him? Oh man!
We got a whole bunch of unpaid bills to Scottie Pippen.
Oh, that's classic and shit. Okay, all right. So airlines are offering $247 an hour to combat pilot shortage. Black Twitter is weighed in. I'm sorry about that. Like to the same, you gotta take that part out. But anyway, $247, guys. I just applied for my pilot's license the other day.
Yeah. They bring a Snoop Dogg back.
You know what I'm saying? I'm taking my thing out to South Beach. Soul Plane is about to be. When I start flying, that shit gonna be Soul Plane. Tell you right now.
Now, back in the day, if you guys remember, many years ago, this probably goes back to the 80s. They was having a problem with air traffic controllers. I think it was off the big strike with Reagan, and everything like that. I don't know. Did anybody explain why there's a deficit with pilots right now?
Yeah, they said that because the military is not training. People are not taking being pilots in the military anymore. Because most people, when they leave the military, they go and they fly for these airlines.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So that's where it's coming from. So the thing is, now these airlines are basically have to train their own pilots. So it takes time to train a pilot. So, which kind of scares me, because now you're going to get some inexperienced pilots.
Yeah. I mean, to me, first of all, flying is very boring. That's the first
thing. It is, because me, I'll be up in the front sleeping. I have it on auto. Up there
they say outside of the landing and the takeoff, I believe, is pretty much instrument driven.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I just have no interest in it. Now, there are a lot of people that love it. I do it out of necessity. I don't love flying.
Yeah. The thing is, what I kind of predicted, I think it's going to happen is they're going to probably start soliciting a lot of retired pilots to come out of retirement for that money. You know what I'm saying? So you might see like an 80-year-old pilot now. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't even want to see an 80-year-old driver. That's what I'm saying. Like, no. Stay right at home. No, I don't want to hear it because I don't want to see the plane with a left turning signal on for 2 hours.
Yeah, you know how you get on a plane and sometimes the pilot standing there with the stewardess greeting people coming on?
Yeah.
Just imagine an old pilot standing there with a walker.
It's gonna look like Walmart. It's gonna be Walmart.
With the tennis balls on the walker.
Yeah. And I know before y'all start saying we shaming, I know people gonna start saying we shaming elderly people. It's not that. I realize that in life, there's a time when your reaction time goes. And at the end of the day, that's it. If you can't drive to the airport but can fly somebody from it, that's going to be a problem. And so as a result, no, I don't want the retired, I want the retired people to help train somebody. But you got to go with the youth movement.
Yeah. I feel you on that one.
Well, the thing is, the good news is, too, now brothers got a shot at going to pilot school and getting their pilot's license and possibly flying major airlines now.
There's a lane there.
Yeah.
Brothers
do
and
flying have anything to do with fireworks?
No.
Okay, then that's it. No, we ain't going then. That's it.
I think there's a brother that's out on the eastern section of the island who's giving they were giving out flying lessons to the kids. Man.
Yeah. He's a cop.
I know you're talking about.
I know him. I work with him. Rod, you probably work with him too.
He's not a cop. I think he's an inspector.
And let me just say this to all my brothers and sisters that are going.
It's 2 of them. It's a younger guy.
The guy I know.
He used to work at the high. As part of the
I know a black inspector that's also he's an inspector or a deputy inspector that does it too. He teaches the kids how to fly.
Yeah.
All my brothers and sisters that want to be pilots, I just want to say, you cannot make a stop real quick because you want to veer off for a minute. You want to stop somewhere, okay? You gotta go. You gotta go the people pay for a ticket, right? You gotta run by Atlanta for a second. Just to chill. You gotta.
Or I think they probably all get hired on Spirit Airlines and be doing that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So maybe pick up my mans in them.
Yeah. Can you imagine a guy saying over the speaker, "Yo, we got to make a quick stop in Atlanta. I got to get my side piece."
Also lemon pepper wings. I got to go get some lemon pepper wings. Or, I'll be like this. Yo, I left my cigarettes. We got to go back to JFK. No, I know that shit. That's Spirit Airlines for sure, brother.
Man.
But other crazy news in Detroit, this lady, they stole a car. And she got it back on her own. Jamie, play the video to this.
Gangster.
A Detroit business owner taking matters into her own hands to track down a stolen car. The Mercedes-Benz she shares with her boyfriend was taken early this week. Within days, she says she found the car and confronted the thief. Local 4 defender Sean Lay is live with how it all happened. And Sean, we should say this is not the safest course of action, but this is what she did, and she was not harmed.
Well, yeah. Bianca Chambers is her name you're about to see. She's no joke at all, calling police each time, police arriving each time she saw this stolen white Mercedes-Benz. She tracked it for 3 days, found it again, found the person driving it, which led to this wild confrontation.
Excuse me, you got that Benz out there? Yes, you do.
You are watching Bianca Chambers surprising and then getting physical with the teen who Chambers saw driving this stolen white Mercedes, her boyfriend's white Mercedes that she drives, before it was stolen from the shops at 8 Mile and Woodward on Monday. Chambers tracked the car and the teen down like a veteran detective.
You're the dumbest criminal of all. I'm the wrong one. I was going to find you. You're a thief. A thief.
Chambers first put an alert about the theft on Facebook and Instagram. It lit up with people seeing the white Mercedes near Grand River in Greenfield including her.
8 Mile in Greenfield, I see him. I said, oh my God, this is my car.
Chambers says the driver sped away. Tuesday, another sighting. Chambers owns Taste of Honey Boutique on Greenfield. Parked nearby, the stolen white Mercedes with 2 people in it. Chambers reported the stolen car to Detroit police. Yesterday, the Mercedes spotted again outside a hair salon, leading to this.
Excuse me, you got that Benz out there? Yes, you do. I feel like he just needed an old-fashioned ass whooping because you're going to stop stealing people's cars.
And before the confrontation, Chambers slashed the tires on the Mercedes.
I need to slash all 4. I didn't want you to think that you was about to get anywhere far. Today was just the last straw. I refuse to let this man joyride another day in my car. You will never steal from me again.
Thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Sounds about right to me.
First of all, I'm sure Bianca's boyfriend is very afraid of her. Because I would be very afraid of her. The thing is, first of all, as soon as I heard the name Bianca, I know that's gangster. It's just like Tisha or Tisha. Those are gangster names. Okay? So she repped for her name and she repped for her car. But I'll be honest with you, I'm glad it went her way because I like to actually see things like that. You know what I'm saying? Where actually somebody gets exactly what they deserve. And shout out to Bianca. And if I ever need security, I'm gonna give you a holler.
Well, let me say this. First of all, we obviously don't recommend anybody.
Yeah, I'm not recommending
confront any type of thief or whatever like that. You know. Now, what's amazing to me, and this is just vintage Detroit, that they ain't even gonna try to hide the car. They just gonna take the car and ride around with it. They ain't gonna chop it. They gonna nothing. Just it's their car now. I'm surprised she didn't have a set of keys at this point where she could just go get in the car and break out. I mean, because she kept seeing the car. So her car, she got the keys to it. I would assume. I'm assuming, unless they left the fob in there, that she, had keys to the vehicle. But it's just, I'm glad she did. I'm glad she's okay, first of all, because that's very dangerous confronting the dude, especially in Detroit, especially being a female confronting the dude. But the other thing is, I think he may have learned the valuable lesson, that people just had enough. People just work hard for their stuff and they just tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Very dangerous on her part, but I'm glad they got the car back. But in the future, it's just a car. Don't ever chase, after some material that could cost your life.
And the real thing is that them brothers in the barbershop were real dudes because they helped that sister out.
They helped her, yeah.
They helped that sister out. So I want to shout out to those brothers in that barbershop. They were real G's, and then they came down there like, yo, you stole from this sister, and she was in heaven, and they didn't allow him to put hands on her. So that was a real shout out to those brothers in that barbershop.
Yeah.
But those so funny, Rob, my godson mother name is Letitia, and she ain't no sucker at all.
I told you.
There's
certain names.
No sucker.
There's certain names that it's just affiliated with gangster.
Yo, seriously.
And like, okay, Corey. Everybody, Corey's bad.
Bad.
You know what I'm saying? Bad. Even from a little baby. Even from a baby, you're bad.
Bad. You got two rotten teeth for drinking juice all night.
Kool-Aid. Let's sleep with the Kool-Aid bottle. Yeah. So he's bad. But it's just certain names that just for some reason you just don't mess with those people.
Yeah, it's Corey with a C. All the people know Corey with a C. Corey is bad. With a C.
Yeah.
Word up, but anyhow. Also, we was talking about airlines earlier, man. It was a woman that was placed on a no-fly list after leaving a child's dirty diaper in the plane's bathroom. Isn't that where you supposed to take a shit and leave shit?
Well, she said that the bag was scented. First of all, she said she's done this a million times, and she left it in there. And this one particular flight attendant, the male flight attendant, told her that it's a biohazard. So then she went and asked the other flight attendant, the female, for a bag to put it in, and the female said there's nothing wrong with it, like it's not a problem, And then it escalated once he landed. He calls her on a 1-800 number later and is like, we're putting you on a no-fly list. So, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. She has filed a complaint, but you have some people that just, I think post-pandemic, people just losing it. Yeah. I just think we don't even realize how far-reaching this is psychologically because it makes no sense to go that far with it. She went back to the changing station to change the baby. And obviously, she said she discarded it in the bathroom's garbage. It's not like she tried to flush it,
Yeah.
Because you can't flush those things. So the only place you can put it is in there. So if she would have brought it to the back of the plane and funked up the whole plane, Yeah, that would have been okay. I just don't understand this world. And some men are just fucked up when they think like, why would the man? He don't understand. Must he didn't have kids? You know, maybe he's. I ain't gonna say that. But yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rodney. Sorry.
No, I just think that she caught a very overzealous stewardess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But they want to be called flight attendant.
Okay, I'm sorry. Flight attendant. Yeah, I think that's basically what we have here. We had somebody with just maybe having a very bad day or just not very good at their job to basically make a big deal out of this and consider her to be put on the no-flies list because she put a pamp in there and it's considered biohazard. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, Kelvin and Rodney, you both made very salient points. Kelvin specifically, I agree. There's something that's happened, you know, post-pandemic. And, you know, there is some sort of psychological thing where there's just a loss of common sense, a loss of patience with people, and common decency and understanding. And everyone's just in this really selfish space, you know? And I think that may be a reflection of sort of where we are right now, you know? So
yeah, it is.
I just want to add to it too, like we're not taking this into consideration, and I'm not giving this as an excuse, but some professions are very short-handed. So now they're overworking a lot of their employees. So some people can't handle like doing extra shifts.
You have a point.
Or whatever. So we got to kind of keep that in mind because there's a lot of things I'm noticing after the pandemic, like. Service ain't what it used to be, and everybody that you're kind of dealing with is new and inexperienced.
Right.
So I'm kind of noticing that in the bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the bank is just getting crazy. Like they don't. If you ain't got an appointment for certain things, you standing right there. No one else could be in the bank. They still don't even want to take you. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, I haven't been inside the bank in a minute. Like really, like
yeah. But
there are a lot of.
I mean, Ron got a lot of money. He got a whole lot of. We got to go see him in person. He got a lot of money. Hey, listen, Ron, man, but don't come to this house. You got heat. So now, better try Jesus. Don't try Rodney. Goddamn.
Nah, but I am noticing that, like,
killer.
Going out a couple of times.
That's my friend of me right there, killer.
There you go. A lot of places we go and sit down to eat. You're getting new waitresses and waiters, and me and my wife went out to a comedy club, and I was pointing it out to her. I said, a lot of these waiters and waitresses are brand new. She said, you think so? I said, yeah. Sure enough, as soon as I said that, the table behind us, the lady came with like 5 drinks on the tray, went to lay them on the table, and spilt them all over the customers. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well, Rodney. There was just a lot of new employees.
A lot of new employees.
Wherever you go, you know, he's in food service industries and banks and wherever you want to think about it. There's a lot of new employees.
Yeah. And people that were working there prior, they didn't get hired back. They didn't come back. Yeah.
Right. I think maybe some of these companies took advantage and maybe got people at low wages. I don't know what happened. So
no, people got smart and said, let me make my own bread.
Correct.
So but that's a whole nother talk. Moving right along, Utah companies facing backlash for producing a pistol that looks like a child toy. Jamie, Lego toy at that. Jamie, look at this. Then this is sad.
Yeah.
The Glock 19. This
is sad. Yep, it does look like the Glock. It could be the Glock 19, look like the 17 for people that don't know. It's either one of those two. And this could be very detrimental. We already seen Tamir Rice. We've seen stuff like this happen before. And this thing could be real. Now, grown-ass men, that Tamir Rice actually had a real toy. Grown-ass men were having this really gun walking down the street. We see how wild it is now in New York City. So imagine that.
Yeah. I can't help to think, but that's intentional.
Oh.
That's intentional to put into our neighborhoods.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? And that's I really see that. Like it's actually scary that, you know, people can, you know, get away with that. And like I think me and you had this conversation before, D. You know, guns are not supposed to be any color besides black. They're not supposed to be pink. They're not supposed to be blue. They're not supposed to be red. You know what I mean? Because they shouldn't be mistaken as toys.
Yep. But then and it gets the law in New York. For people that don't know,
it is.
You want to have silver, metal gun or black guns. For people that know, don't buy those pink guns, ladies, and green and all them.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have them. But that's scary to me. I think that, you know, like what other reason would you have to make a gun like that unless you're trying to put it in somebody's hand so they can think it's a toy so they can kill somebody? You know,
right?
That's how I see that.
Yeah,
right. And you know, when I was a kid, I remember it was a big thing. We had cap guns, and then there was like guns, like cowboy guns and all that stuff like that. And they started getting rid of that stuff because it was just, you know, it's a different day. You don't see that stuff anymore. You're not supposed to see it anymore. And as a result, Rodney, I do agree that there is some type of agenda with that. Obviously, there's some type of fascination with guns, but yeah, I think this is to definitely lead to the detriment of younger people growing up. You know what I mean? And it's definitely not a good look. And Lego just, you know, they overplayed it. Really, and you know, there's some corporate executives.
I don't know if Legos made that. I think another company made it. It looked like Legos. So I don't want to blame Legos. I don't want to blame Legos. I think
Lego doesn't make Lego's not a gun manufacturer. You know?
I think Legos should sue their asses for
probably. They would actually be doing a public.
Wait, hold on. Did I miss the story? Are you telling me that's a real gun?
Yes,
that's a real gun.
I thought it was a toy. I thought somebody was simulating a toy.
No, Legos is protesting it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I got what you're saying. Okay, I'm sorry, I totally missed that.
That joint, that's fine. That's when Derik said it looked like the Glock 19. That joint fires like a Glock 19 or 17.
And you see how the label on it calls it the Block BL. If you notice that, the Block 19. So it's a whole.
Don't be jealous of like the younger women. She said, for my young tenderoni.
Oh, here we go, buy my tenderoni. Hey man, I'm telling you. But listen, on the real though, if something's gonna happen, and you're giving police ammunition. If you ask me, man, you know what I mean? Because they say, listen, you got one of these flying around. They have to take every gun serious. They have to take everybody serious now.
Man. Moving along, sorry, gentlemen, let's move on. We're gonna talk a little bit. We're gonna jump into this black community right now. So, DMX fiance denies common law wife status, will not control his estate. Thoughts, gentlemen? Anybody want to take it first?
I guess I'll take it.
Go ahead, Rodney.
The thing is, this is a prime example of how there are things that we recognize that the courts don't recognize. You know, the thing is, she wasn't legally married to DMX. I think that they have a child together. So the courts don't recognize, you know, the baby mama, baby daddy thing, you know, my day one, my ride or die, all that. The courts don't recognize that stuff. They recognize legal paperwork or whatever. And I think too, she should have went in there and tried to prove that she was going to be his wife to be, instead of saying that she was his common law wife.
Right.
But I think, you know, it's unfortunately, I think she was with DMX for a while, and she has this kid. I think he got a 5-year-old kid with DMX. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but you know, DMX didn't take care of his paperwork before he passed away, unfortunately. You know,
and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, Rodney. Going back to also this and going, well, I don't know that Biz had the same issue, but it's definitely my own concern is that we have to, as a people, just kind of get that whole will thing together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, just because you know you don't know, you know, if tomorrow's going to get here for you or not. You know? So you got something in the bank, you got something worth leaving behind in terms of a legacy. You got to take care of that business, man. You know,
Derik, I agree 1,000,000% with you. The thing is too, yes, you have to get a will. The other thing is too, a lot of people tend to say, "Oh, I don't need a will. I don't have nothing." But that doesn't mean you're not going to have something tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, as you grow and you develop things, you know what I'm saying? Like when you got together, you may not have had a house, but now you got a house, you and her. You got to put your stuff on paper for your wishes, especially when you're not married to somebody. Married, totally different story. That wife automatically is going to get everything unless there's some paperwork that says that she shouldn't get everything.
Right.
And if you have 17 kids,
15.
You know, 15 tomato. I mean, no, but nah, I appreciate that. No, if you have children like that, I mean, it's just too much. I mean, right now, think about it. He was the entertainer. He was the celebrity. So anything that can be monetized, especially once I'm sure he may be worth even more dead now. You know what I mean? Because of some of the things. You know what I'm saying? So now, of course, all that sentiment at the funeral, that ends very, very shortly. And then business kicks in, and when it comes to money or whatever like that, it's going to be a problem, and it's going to be contentious, and that's what it is. And so I'll just say this. A lot of people today, I hear a lot of people say they don't believe in marriage. They don't want to get married and all these things like that. And you don't want to get married and you start acquiring things together or start having children together and all those different things like that is going to get messy.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Marriage is a contract that you're signing, and it offers certain protections being married.
Yeah.
And so as a result, people need to understand that. But having a bunch of kids and all that stuff like that and not being married, it's going to be contentious.
Yeah, but even when you're married, still, if you're married or not married, you should establish that trust, because people could challenge it. Even I've seen people challenge the spouse that was left behind. So if you have a trust,
but that being the wife does carry a lot of weight.
It has a tremendous amount of weight. Husband and wife.
If she's the wife, she's legally married to him. Everything's going to her unless he has something she doesn't know about written that says she's not to get it. Like he leaves it to his kids or something like that. But wife get everything. Same thing with if it's reversed. If the wife died, husband's getting everything.
Okay. Ex-St. Louis cop sentenced to beating an undercover officer. This gentleman, I believe this was a black gentleman at a protest. I think it was 2017. I believe it was a few years ago. And a white officer started whipping on his black brother's ass. Didn't know he was a cop. I think he got sent to jail. Am I correct, guys? Right? I think he got sent to jail.
It was a few of them, and actually the cop that got beat.
4 cops.
It was like 4 cops, and I think the brother that got beat was rewarded a $5 million lawsuit because they beat him pretty bad. So I know that D is going to want me to take this question.
You know I am.
Okay, I know. The thing is this, right? There's something that I always paid attention to when I was working for the police department that I always had a problem with, but some people I gave advice to about it. Some people I just let them rock. Me personally, I don't believe in brothers and sisters being undercover for the police department. That's my personal opinion. Because you know why? It's like you're doing something that's totally not going to work out for you if it goes bad. And reason being is this, right? You're undercover as a cop. Lots of the cops don't even know you're undercover. That's why you're undercover. And then if there's an incident that you have with other police officers, you got to realize that the union can't help you because now they have to pick a side, because it's the undercover cop who's a cop, and then it's the on-duty cops who are also cops. So the bottom line is, who do you think is going to lose 9 times out of 10? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to buy no guns for the department, and I ain't buying no drugs for the department because I don't buy them for myself. So I constantly think you at a tremendous disadvantage by being an undercover in law enforcement as a black man or black woman. So
fair point.
Now here's the thing too. Now those cops that are on duty, you being a police officer, you have a lot of credibility in court by telling this story because you're a cop. So what do you think they're going to do? They're in a position they have to lie. They're not trying to go to jail. They're not trying to get in trouble. So they got to fix that story to suit them, and they're going to sacrifice you. And that's what they do. So me personally, as a black man, I would never go undercover for any police department or whatever. And the only reward that you get is a shield, which to me, I don't think is worth it. Now, people say they get grade or whatever. You're going to tap dance for that grade. And I don't care what anybody says, you're going to tap dance for that grade.
Explain to people what grade is real quick.
Grade is when you make detective and then they can give you a bump up to, you start off when you originally get promoted as a 3rd grade detective. Then you can become a 2nd grade detective, which gives you a bigger raise. And then when you can also go get upgraded to a 1st grade detective. So like a 2nd grade detective is equivalent to the income of a sergeant, and a 1st grade detective is the income of a lieutenant. So me personally, I'd rather take the promotional exam and cut straight to it. And it's something that I earned, that it belongs to me, and they can't take it away, because I took a test for it and passed it. That's just my personal opinion on it.
Keita wants to know if y'all have a secret handshake.
Do who have a secret handshake? The police?
Detectives.
Oh, I don't know. I was never a detective. But that's just how I see it. I wouldn't go undercover for any law enforcement agency. That's just my personal opinion.
And right after that, we have the black officer that filed a lawsuit against the department for extreme racism.
Shocking.
What state was this? I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull it up. What state was this? Anybody remember what state? I'm just going 1 second. I'm getting on this. Brother, I can't believe this, man. Well, go ahead, Rodney. What do you think? Racism in the police department? Is it there? Was it a false myth? What is it? I thought you guys are blue. Talk to me.
Nah, the thing is, I'll tell you one thing. You could be blue all you want, but you better not come in there being black. They ain't feeling that.
Oh, this is almost local. This is Syracuse, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so officer of Syracuse is saying that he's been passed over for some sort of promotion as a result of
wow.
They say because he's listening to rap music, they accused him of being a gang member and stuff like that. I don't know all the particulars of this case, but the thing is, from what I see, he seems like an officer that's basically engaged in the community a lot. He's playing basketball with the kids. He's even having a challenge to the kids. If they could beat him in basketball, he'll buy them sneakers.
Okay. Right? He's noticeably black is what his problem is.
So the thing is, he's in touch with the community or whatever. And I always notice with the police department is based on tribalism. You know what I'm saying? It's the us against them mentality. So the thing is, anybody that basically kind of engages too much with the community, especially as a black man, the law enforcement tends not to see you as one of them. So that's what I'm just speculating from my experience. I don't know all the particulars of the case, but to me, it seems like that may be the issue because he's too involved with the community. So, like I said, they made allegations of him being a gang member. They made allegations of him listening to rap music. There was supposedly some video he made talking about how he interacts with the community and his sneaker challenge and stuff like that. And he said when he was growing up, he didn't see police officers that he felt were approachable. And he didn't want to be that type of police officer. He wanted to be approachable and be able to deal with the community. So
he's actually doing he's trying to be a real police officer, trying to do some real police work.
He's being an officer that technically you should be.
You should be, yeah. I mean, he's like I say, what is it? No good deed goes unpunished, So he's actually trying to serve the community, and he's paying his price. He's being noticeably black.
Correct.
Another black news, real quick. HBCU mega camp sponsored by Morehouse College, the men of Morehouse. Head football coach hosted over 1,900 high school prospects. So he had this camp come down. Everybody came down to the A, down to Atlanta. For people that don't know what the A is, for any of our Caucasian viewers, came down to Atlanta, and they had all these kids get featured in front of all these other historical black colleges that probably never got looks at the other schools. So you got a lot of D1s and a lot of D2 schools. Guys, what your thoughts on this camp?
That's dope.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
I like it.
Yeah, a lot of those kids, I never got, I wasn't no, crazy college athlete or nothing, but I would think that, a lot of those kids that go in there, might have gotten looked over, maybe politics or where they went. They got anything that, they got eyeballs on them. So, anything that helps, man, better themselves and whatnot, I think it's dope. It's a great idea. And maybe they'll all choose an HBCU. Probably, there's a lot of talent in our community, and they would love to have them. I would love to see it,
And I think Morehouse has always been considered one of the crown jewels of historically black colleges. And so for them to be at the forefront of this, it really looks good. They are such a historic college. And to come down there to a great city like that, I think it's really, really advantageous. And I hope the kids enjoyed it and took advantage, and hopefully it'll lead to more of this.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you guys. I'm definitely for it. Me personally, I think that if you are a talented athlete, you should go to a historical black college. The reason why is because we need to basically control the game. And that's the way to control the game. So now, and you also need to build these programs up, because now if you start putting asses in seats and at games and stuff right now, these colleges now can be able to make more money, so they can build their programs and be able to recruit more talented players to come to those schools. And then guess what? When these athletes get ready to go into the pros, guess what? All the attention comes to these schools.
Yeah. So you get better labs, you get better classrooms, you get better everything. That really trickles down from the money they make from all these sports and stuff like
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Or maybe they just become college graduates, man. Go out and make something of themselves
and think about the money they make. Now kids can make off their licensing of their own images of their jerseys. Right. So the school will make some money off their jerseys, and the young person will make some money off their jerseys too. It's a win-win for everybody. If brothers do, like Rodney said, start going to historical black colleges.
Yeah, I had this discussion a long time ago with my wife, and we were saying the same thing. If they start going going to historical Black colleges, like I said, you can put these schools on the maps, and then these schools will control the games. Look at the NCAA. Look how much money they make, and they give nothing to these athletes. Nothing. Now, you may leave with, some of them may leave with an education or degree or what have you, and they may leave with some connections. But the bottom line is the money that they make is nowhere near what you're going to walk away.
You're talking $1 billion, $million, multi-million-dollar contracts, and you're walking around with you get an education, and then you might get hired to make $40,000 a year.
Correct.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand that shit.
We need to control. We need to control the game. You know what I'm saying? We need to control the game.
Hey guys, listen, we about to go to commercial. I think Jamie told we got a new sponsor on this commercial. So Jamie, take us to our first commercial break, brother.
Orchard Blue Counseling Services, or known as OBS, is a private mental health practice based in Southeast Queens, New York. OBS's founder and holistic psychotherapist, Serene Prince, is a Queens native with Caribbean roots. Serene is committed to providing culturally competent holistic psychotherapy to diverse communities while curating a safe healing space for Black and Brown people with compassion and awareness of their total being. As experts in children and teens, we have curated a mental health and wellness community where children are heard, guided in developing a healthy self-esteem, supported in strengthening their inherited resilience, and learn skills to manage their emotions to develop positive relationships with parents, adults, and their peers. Orchard Blue Counseling Services is designed to help children and adults discover their inner healer as we take the journey with our clients to work towards self-acceptance, self-love, and resilience to manage life's uncertainties and embrace its wonders. Our private practice extends to providing consultant services for personal life transitions and business development, parenting guidance and support, and clinical supervision for mental health students and therapists. And be sure to book our founder, Serene Prince, as your next holistic speaker, offering your audience a life-changing experience. Now that you have taken the first step to learning about us, we invite you to walk towards a healing and progressive life with Orchard Blue Counseling Services. Contact us for your free consultation where applicable. Email or call us at info@orchardbluecounseling.com or area code 516-200-1174. You can also connect with us at our website and social media pages, orchardbluecounseling.com, or on Instagram at orchardblue_counseling SBCS, or Facebook at Orchard Blue Counseling.
Welcome back to our new sponsor. See, look, they love us. See, we didn't get Akila. See, my big crazy mouth doesn't get in trouble. People want to fuck with us, Akila. You know what I'm saying? So they want to mess with us. So thank you for getting a new sponsor, Jamie, for reaching out. See,
gotta go read the book or something.
But this part of our segment of our show tonight, we're about to get into some relationships. Tonight, we got some very intelligent young ladies coming on the show. We're going to talk about what's going on with some of these trending topics that we see in Black social media right now. So, Jamie, without further ado, can you bring in our two guests, Miss Niecy Williams and Christina Richardson? Hey, ladies.
Oh, hey, y'all.
How you doing? How you doing, Queens? How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing? Feeling good?
Great. Feeling
all right. Y'all looking pretty. I feel like the essence coming in the room. I feel like I feel this nice melanin coming in right. Like I feel like, oh, this is it right now. Anyway, ladies, you both are very intelligent young ladies, very beautiful. And you're out here in this dating life going on right now. And I know you hear about them saying they fuck boys. Sometimes I think it's some of the girls' problems. What's really going on? And our first question is what's Rodney? No, I'm gonna let Rodney do the first question tonight because we got three good ones. I want to let my man Rod, because Ryan and I talk about a lot of topics now. But you want me to do it, Rod? Let me bring it on. You want it?
No, you can do it. You do a good job.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies, my first one. We'll start off something light. When is it cool for a gentleman to say, "Let's go 50-50 on a date"?
Never.
Never. This is gonna be a long night. We might have to skip all these other topics that I got over here. But go ahead. Niecy, since you chimed off first, let me see what you got. What's in your mind?
Okay, so I feel that if someone asks you on a date, he's like, they want to take you out, so they should automatically pay. But now that I think about it, 50-50, no, never. I can't even like go around it. Like
never. Have y'all been together for a year? No, never. 2 years? No, never.
He shouldn't have to ask. That's not something that you ask. Like you go 50-50, it should be something to where like, oh, I got it, babe. But that's only after the courting stage is done. I feel like depending on
we have it together like at least a year. At least
dealing with like there will be certain circumstances where she'll cover something or she'll make arrangement. That's how it should be. There should be some give and take. But as far as like paying for dinners or if you guys are going out, I feel like that's just what a gentleman does. I don't think there should be a time when a man should ask a woman, so what's up? You got money on it? No.
That's actually a turn off. If someone ever asks me to go 50-50, I'm actually like, so what's up? Like what is it like? What's your plan?
Now, you know what? Let me say this. I met I know a woman, and early on her thought was she used to want to pay for her half because she didn't want the person to have some type of expectation like she owed them something. So what she did was say, I used to like to, go Dutch because of that. So that was her philosophy. But you think that that's probably because some people think it may be antiquated to just, everybody's making their own money and doing their thing like that. But she felt that she didn't want the person to think, all right, you're paying for me, therefore you have some type of unrealistic expectation of what you want from me.
I think to respond to that, dating for men, I have like antiquated views, I feel like, because dating for men is like an investment. Like you're out here, you're courting different women, you're seeing, all right, I'm looking for my queen. I'm looking for the queen of my castle. So I am investing and I'm taking, courting different women. That's something that you should be able to afford. If you're not in a financial position to be able to court women and be able to feel out different women and have different experiences so that you can pick who your queen is going to be, then you shouldn't be dating. I don't think money is just a tool. Money is not, it's just a tool. So if you don't have that tool, you should be focused on securing that for yourself rather than trying to date. Because what is it for?
Now, I would like to ask a question, if I can ask one more, curious, because I like the language you're using. The question I want to know, especially today in 2021, what do you think the responsibility or the conduct of a queen is?
Good question, Kel. Good question.
Oh, I like this question. You want to go first, Niecy?
Definitely take this one. So a queen is actually someone that can hold her crown on her own, I believe, before she has a man. Because I feel like when a man comes into your life, you should be an asset to him. Like you should be an addition. You definitely shouldn't take anything away from him. He should pour into your cup and you should be able to pour into his. So that's the of a queen.
Yes, and I feel
Hold on. Let's give her a round of applause.
Strong J.
Go ahead, Chrissy, your turn.
Okay, I agree 100% with Niecy. I also feel that men and women have different roles. As a woman, we're nurturers, we're caretakers. When you talk about the logistics of running a household, when you talk about giving men a certain insight that they might not see, because sometimes men are more see the broad scope of things, but women can see the details. There's certain qualities of a woman that a real man needs and knows that in order to be his best self, he needs a strong woman next to him. Mm-hmm. So that's the role of a queen. A queen, I mean, that's, we can go back to chess. Chess, the queen can make more moves than a king. That's just the reality of the power of a woman, and a woman that's tapped into her femininity, and a woman that has full full knowledge of self and knows the value of a king, because that king is going to run your household. That king is going to be a provider. That king is going to be an example. That king is going to lay the foundation for your future, for your offspring. Like, I'm thinking about generations. You know what I mean? It's much bigger than what people are focusing on right now, I feel like. And when you think about generations and leaving a legacy and who your children's children are going to be and what they're going to have, that's what you need to be thinking about when it comes to a king and a queen.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Very nice. Again.
Very nice. Very well stated.
All I got to say is this: our jobs are in trouble, guys.
Very well stated. Thank you, ladies.
But I just want to add that going back to the first question, I definitely agree with you guys. If a guy asks you out for a date, absolutely, he should be paying. I think once a relationship is definitely established, then I think it's okay here and there for a female to say, okay, dude, I got this. Or, but once the relationship is established, you guys are working together, you're a union, you're trying to build together, you take care of each other. But I totally agree with what you guys said about the dating thing and who should pay. The other thing is too, I like what your young lady said about what a woman should bring to a man's life. And I agree, the man should bring that as well. He can't come empty-handed. He's got to come with some sort of value that brings to you to improve your life as well. Help you grow. You're supposed to grow together. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't supposed to be blocking each other. You're not supposed to be hating on each other. You ain't supposed to be like, hey, you doing better than me. No, we doing better together. You know what I'm saying? And that's my philosophy on it. But I commend you ladies for the comments that you made. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies, let me ask you this question. What are you seeing out there when you see men? Because I'll be honest with you, what I'm seeing today is not really indicative of what you described as a queen across the board. I think
everybody ain't a queen.
We're not.
They're wearing bonnets.
We went out a couple of weeks ago, and I think what's happening.
Kelvin, you're gonna get us in trouble. You're gonna get us in trouble.
What I think is happening in our community, we're using queen and king very loosely, and so there are certain expectations that I think we would have or should have as men. The way we conduct ourselves. I think because we're in a generation that's so bereft of true male leadership, fathers and things like that, a lot of young men are not ushered into manhood. Man, I'm seeing the same thing on the side of females also. The way people conduct themselves out in public. I don't think pop culture lends itself to being a queen anymore. But when you deal with young men or see young men or in your peer group, what are you seeing?
So is the question you're asking us like, do we see kings out there?
Yeah, are you seeing that, or is it a stretch?
I mean, in a batch of 10, you might find one, but I'm not going to just out everyone out. So you might find one, but many of the times we're finding men that we have to build. And it goes a lot deeper. Like I'm a very deep person, and like I already know what led up to this point where there's so many men that are dealing with trauma, family trauma. Their mother, or their family dynamic wasn't the same. So I don't want to say that we can't expect. They don't even expect it in themselves to come to you as a king. Like they're just so worried about just keeping their head up or like trying to look fly or just even it's guys our age that are still trying to figure out what they want to do. And they're so focused on their image and the Instagram. But like you might find somebody that's not on Instagram all the time. And you might find somebody that's like working on their personal growth. And that right there's a king out there that's like that.
Got you.
I feel like there's two sides of the spectrum to that question, because there's what you see, because social media is such a big part of our lives now. There's social media, and then there's real life, your day-to-day, your work, the people that you come across at the grocery store or at work in the office. I agree with Nisi to a certain extent, because there's a lot of broken men. There's a lot of broken people in general. The men that I do come across professionally, a lot of times I've seen, okay, so here's the thing. A lot of guys are cheating, right? So a lot of guys that I've come across.
Allegedly.
This is a large number. There's a lot of guys out here that are in relationships that are not happy. So a lot of guys that I've been meeting, just like being single and experiencing life, They're in relationships, but they're still looking. And that's the crazy part.
You know, it is a lot of young men are looking for shelter. A lot of young men that have their shit together. Like a lot of us in this room probably all had apartments at 18 or doing stuff. We was doing manly stuff when we were very young. A lot of these guys, like you said, you guys are not in your 20s anymore. I'm not gonna say your age. They look young, but I'm not gonna say the age. They're not, you know, they off the calendar. That's like no, but they're not used. They didn't get their shit together in their 20s. Their 20s are mistake years. I give it to young men. But they don't have that way. They always looking for shelter. That's why they always looking from. They living with someone they don't want to be with because that person can pay the rent. That person keep the lights on. That person can give them a meal or two. That's what they're there for. Most of them.
A lot of people are settling right now, and that's because of fear. I feel like fear of not finding somebody else or somebody better, or fear of being alone, or fear. There's just a lot of fear running rampant in our community right now. That's what I'm finding. I'm finding men that are afraid to be vulnerable. Men that are afraid to let their guard down. They're gonna do you wrong before you do them wrong because they're afraid of being hurt or played or used for their money. Like, there's just so much insecurity going on right now, and I think that has a lot to do with social media. It's a huge factor because everyone is in this whole comparison realm where they're looking at everybody else's highlight reel, and it's making them insecure. It's so much insecurity. That's the real pandemic. Insecurity. That's what I'm seeing out there.
That's true.
For the most part, you have your own tattoos that are like.
What is your deal breaker?
Deal breaker.
As it relates to men, what is your deal breaker? Because I think one of the problems is that I've seen a lot of young women in our community because they feel that the choices are so limited that they don't have any. I think there has to be some standard where you say, this is the one thing that I do not, this is the line I don't cross. So do you have a deal breaker where it's like, if you approach me and you're in this position, it is not going to happen?
Yes. A man without a plan. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, if you don't have a plan, if you don't know where you're going, you're going to be all over the place. If you don't know where you're going, if you're not on a clear path towards reaching a goal, how can I fit into, what am I fitting into? How can I fit into your life? You know, what does that look like? A lot of times, you know, relationships have to do with like proximity and like logistics. Like how can we see this working realistically? Are you working hard? Are you know what I mean? Do you have a lot of time on your hands? Because I know I work a lot. So while I'm working hard, what are you doing with your spare time? You know what I mean? Do you have passions? Do you have things that you care about that are gonna keep you busy and keep your mind growing and keep you advancing? I'm all about forward movement, like constantly. So if you don't have a plan or a goal or a big thing that you're trying to do, or just a passion, that's a no for me because we won't be able to have anything in common.
Right.
Wait, hold on a second. D, did you call them earlier? Because every hard question I threw out there, they even answered
man, listen. No.
You know what this is?
These are very, very challenging.
There you go.
Women are no joke.
No, that's the answer. This is what happens when you're intelligent. When you know how to talk.
And Rodney has met Christina. We've been in the circles together, so you know how it is.
I got a question for you, young ladies. Okay. Me and D have spoken about this, and what we're hearing a lot, especially like on Clubhouse and stuff like that, women are looking for this ready-made man, right? He's got to have this, he's got to have that, he's got to have this, he's got to have that. Me personally, I think that's a big problem with women today because I always feel that successful relationships, they grow into things. They're not already ready-made. And the thing is today with men that already have all those things, it's going to be harder to make him commit because he has the pick of the litter. Do you guys think that's a big mistake that women make today by trying to say that this man has to have all these things before you can get with him?
By saying that he has to have all these things, I think there are some bare minimums that he has to have. So I'm not going to take that away, but there are some bare minimums. Like just like Christina said, having a plan. And we question these men about this. So like we'll question like, what have you done before you met us to like know that you're on the path to achieve this goal? So we'll question them. Like we're very intelligent, so we can read right through whatever a man just talking bull.
You can say bullshit. Go ahead.
Let's shove it up. We can say whatever you want to say, Nisi. Go ahead.
We can see right through the bullshit. So like if I'm talking to you, I give people at least 3 months. How did I think I don't save a number in my phone until I'm talking to you for 3 months. Within that 3 months, and you haven't made progress or you haven't talked to me about doing anything extra, I'll give you a chance. But after that, I'm not saving your number. It's nothing to really talk about. So with that whole ready-made, there are bare minimum things that we expect you to have. We expect you to have a career. Like, I'm not going to, like, some people say a career. I need you to have a career. And even if this is not your end career, because people are always evolving. I may change my mind and I might be a superstar tomorrow. I don't know. I'm always evolving. I expect you to evolve as well. But I don't want to build you up because I didn't have a man build me up. And I didn't see my father came around and he was with my, like things like that. I'm not going to build you up. I don't want to do.
I'm her dad.
Like, show like I don't want to build anyone up. So when we say like it has to be ready made, you have to have bare minimum things. But
the thing is, I agree with the bare minimum, but I've heard women make statements that some of them are just really far fetched for you to meet a guy and like like I've heard people say the guy's got to have his own house, he's got to have his own this. Like to me, like. You can't meet a 24-year-old guy and he's got his own house. It's a little bit ridiculous. And that's not realistic in a lot of cases.
But Rodney, are you talking about the professional woman that is?
No, I'm talking about young girls that I'm hearing like on Clubhouse.
Right. Well, you need to take a look at her because like when I hear situations like that, like she has to take a look at herself. Like,
and the thing is, that's my point. She doesn't meet those standards herself. But the thing is, she's putting all these standards on the man, but she doesn't meet him herself. You know what I mean?
So she might meet someone, but I guarantee you she's not going to be able to keep that man that has it all. Because once someone realizes that you don't come to the table with anything, you don't keep.
Correct. Maybe we got a question in the chat. Says, can a man also... Go ahead.
If he has a bare minimum, if a man has a bare minimum for you, can a man have a bare minimum?
He should. He should.
Yeah, she just said that.
Right. Yeah, they definitely should.
And as a matter of fact, I'm going to put the pressure on you guys, man. Y'all need to have standards. Because a lot of things that women do kind of revolve around being chosen by a man or finding a man. And I feel like men's standards are lowering, which is making women prioritize the wrong thing. Like,
here's the thing also. Men's standards have always traditionally been different from women's. Men, our position is more as providers. Where the emphasis has been on us, let's say, to be the provider, to make the money, to have the status, so to speak, socially. But now that things are a little bit different, women are coming to parity. What is it that a man should be looking for in a woman now? A man traditionally he's not necessarily interested in, let's say, how many letters you have after your name, or how much money you have in the bank. All right. So what we are pretty much looking for is, what your character issues, whether your integrity, can you, how do you live,
a nurturing, like, can you be
exactly, those sort of things.
Take care of yourself.
How well do you keep yourself up, that kind of thing, So it's interesting. So it's true. A man should not, and going back to what we were talking about before, a man should not have any problem paying for a first date. So that's, traditionally our job. But what I'm interested to hear is if a man can have, what is your minimum amount for a man on a first date? Can a man say, can he spend $20 and just take you to the park and get to know you that way?
Good question. That's a good question.
I'm just curious.
That's a good question.
A park date, that's cute. A park date is cute.
Right. I love Brooklyn Bridge Park. You could take me there. We can go get Luke's Lobster. If I like you.
Why lobster? Why can't we get
$20?
Why can't we get why can't we get fried rice and shrimp?
I'm gonna keep it simple. The way that I kind of like gauge it is like, is it something that I could do for myself? That's the bare minimum. If it's something I could do for myself, you should be able to do that. If you can't, it's not gonna work. It's like it's not gonna work. So if I can take myself to a 5-star steakhouse and order myself the biggest steak on the lot, you should be able to do that.
Look at that question right there. Now, have you ever gone out on a date for meal dates? Because I know what my niece has put. She used to put like Food Man or something like that in her phone and stuff like that. Have y'all ever done that? Keep it real.
Yeah, in my younger days. Now I just don't.
Well, you gotta say, Lisa, we always say when something happens, long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago.
I've definitely done that because you could sometimes you can tell a man, like, you can tell him, I'm not really interested or whatever, and they still
want to take you out
and do things. So it's like, okay, as long as this is not going nowhere, let's go ahead and.
But sometimes
I knew it was gonna happen. This is our first red flag on the play.
No. Sometimes, but a lot of men think that sometimes persistence overcomes resistance.
True that.
And the thing is, I'll be honest with you, I've seen couples where initially a man was turned down for a date, and the relationship wound up working out because.
But why was he turned down for a date?
Because I think at the time she wasn't in a good place to be dating.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Not the same thing as not having chemistry, or I'm not attracted to you, or
yeah. I got you, Chrissy. I definitely got that.
No, but see, this is the thing that we have to watch out for. The guy is interested in you, okay? And so the guy will accept that friend position for a moment, thinking he can get out of it. So you're like, all right, we can go out and eat and everything as long as I'm not interested and stuff like that. This guy is still thinking he can win the moment. That's what he's trying to do.
I don't think women should accept the date if they know you're not checking for the dude. They shouldn't accept the date. You shouldn't use the guy if he's telling you that he's checking for you, and then you let him take you out anyway. You shouldn't do that. I don't think women should do that. That's my personal opinion.
Because
I know they do it. I know they do it, but I don't think they should do it.
Yeah, men really are going to misinterpret that as there's a chance. So
that was a long.
So listen, so since we're talking about getting free meals, now if a man say, "Hey, I want to take you on a trip," he pay for everything, or you're giving up the box, or you think you should give up the box rather.
Before you answer, this segment is all D. I'm just telling you right now, this segment is all D. I'm just
Achilles don't think I'm crazy again, man. These older women think I'm crazy, man.
Okay, if you like the guy, I'm a firm believer, and this is something that I learned, that if you do not like someone romantically like that, you should not go away with them.
Thank you.
It at all. You should not. Don't even do it.
That's playing games. That's playing games.
Yeah, they have this whole thing like, are you supposed to give it up? Yes. If he takes you on vacation, if you're not giving it up, don't go. Like,
that's right.
Yeah. Now, like, y'all gonna be in a room together. What y'all gonna do? Hide? Like,
correct. Now, here's the thing I want to say, right? And this goes out to the fellas, right? First of all, you shouldn't be taking women on trips that you haven't had sex with already. That's my personal opinion. Because the thing is, if you haven't had sex with her and you taking her away, you kind of like a simp. That's a simp move. You know what I'm saying? So you figuring like you're gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
It's the worst thing you could do.
It is. It's kind of, to me, it's kind of tacky. You know what I'm saying? If you're not jumping off with the young lady or the woman before you go on a trip, then the bottom line is don't think you're going to go on a trip and get it. But I agree with you, ladies. You shouldn't accept the trip if you know that you ain't going to do nothing with the dude. Mm-hmm. And you're right, because you're going to be in a room. It's only going to be one bed. You already know what time it is.
But what if they went on like a simple trip, like going to Lake George or something? Then he got a room.
I don't think a guy should take a chick away if he's not already rocking with.
Not even Lake George.
Nowhere.
God damn, Rodney.
That's just my opinion. Because the thing is, like I said, that makes me feel like I'm trying to buy it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I really feel about it.
Damien got a question for you, Rodney. See it?
He said, "Wait, Rodney. What about people who are saving it for marriage? What do you think?"
I don't rock like that.
So only who personally wide keep to go.
No, the thing is, I'm not gonna. Okay, somebody's saving it for marriage, right? Then that's not a chick that I'm really looking at, because the thing is, I'm not gonna wait to get married to find out I don't like it.
He want that goose to get him loose.
Yeah. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna marry you, wait to get married, and then say, yo, this chick is horrible in bed. Or she can say, I'm horrible in bed.
That's terrible. Huh? That's a life sentence. Like, if it's terrible, like,
yeah,
I don't believe in. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody that does believe in that, but waiting until marriage, because both is really bad. Like, and I'm with you. I'm not.
Listen,
Correct.
I test
Well,
drive
I
cars first before I buy them. I
Huh?
test drive a car before I buy it.
Correct. The thing is, you kick the wheels, you see how much mileage is on it. You know what I'm saying? You take it around the block, and then you say, "Yeah, this is sold."
This
you know
is
what I'm
me.
saying?
Word up.
And that's just the way I look at it.
Broke it in like I like it.
Wait,
Exactly.
Christina don't agree with that. Christina, I can tell, does not agree with that. What about Coming to America, the first one?
Listen, no, I agree. You test drive the car.
Yeah, like I said, these women are very intelligent. Go ahead, Chrissy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
I'm just saying, test drive the car. Save
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly. These women are intelligent women. The bottom line is, you're going to hold something. You wait till you get married, and then you get into bed with this guy. And you say, "Oh my God, I feel like I want to throw up after sleeping with this guy." But now this guy's your husband. That is a big mistake. That's a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. I got one more question for you, ladies. How important is sex in a relationship? You meet this dynamite guy. Like, y'all know you guys are like these guys with these big beards.
No.
And you know what I'm saying? He dark skin with green eyes.
No.
You know? he got a mansion and a yacht. He got a condo in Manhattan that overlooks Central Park, and on the other side is the West. So how important is it?
It's very high on my list of like needs in a guy. Like, it's very, very high. Very, very high. Like, it's like probably top 3. Like
top 2.
It has to be good. It has to be.
I feel like I do agree with Nisi. When you meet the right person and the chemistry is on point, I feel like it's automatically, it's a very slim chance of it not being good. So it's really about picking the right partner, being patient enough to find that person that you really have a deep connection with, chemistry, and you most likely won't have that to worry about.
I'm going to make a statement, and this is out to the people. No, this is not going to be bad. It's going to be
Sam,
good.
get ready for Rod.
No, it's going to be good. Chrissy just nailed it on the head, and so did Nisi. Chemistry is like a drug. If you got it and that chemistry is popping, guess what? Neither one of y'all can do no wrong. Neither one of y'all can do no wrong. If the chemistry is there, then I'm telling you, the only thing you got to build next is a relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And chemistry is a powerful thing.
It is. It's like it's stronger than crack. It's stronger than crack.
Like a drug.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man. So all right. So everything's right, and then the guy say, and he's little in the bed. You're leaving that his credit great.
I knew it, D. I knew it.
I knew he was going to mess it up.
I knew it.
I knew he was going to mess it up.
I'm just saying.
Okay, let's wait for it to run across the bottom of the screen.
We got an 850 credit score.
If the chemistry is there and I love him, but like
But Chrissy, don't you fake it. Chrissy, don't you fake it.
Yeah.
He got the good toy game.
No.
Hey.
Absolutely not.
There we go.
There we go. Come on, Jamie.
There you go.
Are you serious?
Oh my God. That's
fucked up, man. It's a conspiracy against me. I swear to God, it's a conspiracy against me.
If he's not packing, that's just something, okay, let me tell you something. As you get older, you kind of choose what's important to you and what's not. Okay? And I just feel like sometimes, you can work around certain things. So maybe if somebody needs
oh man.
Yeah, Chrissy's like, no way.
You could just like pass it by. You don't even go around that.
I'm just trying to give a mature, politically correct answer. It's just
no, we're gonna keep it real on here, Chrissy. You gotta keep it real.
We keep it real.
Once you see Nixie's head go to the side, you knew it was a wrap.
Oh man. So ladies, real quick before we wrap up, Chrissy, anything you want to promote? What are you doing? I know you do a lot of stuff with film. You work with young people and stuff like that. Anything you want to promote? And where can they find you at?
So I'm a director and screenwriter, and I also founded a nonprofit called the Bronx Film Initiative, where we teach filmmaking. And we're currently in the process of making a film with a bunch of students from the Bronx. And yeah, we're making movies. I'm into everything filmmaking and stuff. You can follow me on C Rich Media or at C Rich Media, Bronx Film Initiative. It's all linked together.
Your short films and the rap artists you deal with and other artists you deal with. And you might be filming me soon because I got to do the promo soon. So we got to promo in East New York. So we'll talk about that very soon.
Yes, absolutely. But that's it. Follow me on Instagram, C Rich Media.
Right. And Nisi, what you got going on, my intelligent young lady here?
I just authored 2 journals, 2 manifestation journals that you can find on Amazon. Currently, I'm working on my website that's going to be released later on this week. You can follow me on Instagram at Nisi Says, where I'm going to be promoting my products, doing little tutorials on helping people to meditate and manifest whatever they want in their life.
Thank you very much for that. We always like to promote our black business. We got 2 black women entrepreneurs right here doing their damn thing and teaching the world and stuff like that. Working, both of them work with kids in different kind of ways. We love them both. Ladies, you're so beautiful. You know how much I love you all, and I've known you for a long time. I've known these ladies for half their life. So they're very, very beautiful, and they're very, very close to these are like my daughters. I love you all, and I hope to see you soon. And since they both got, you see all the money they're getting, they're gonna take me out the dome. So I know. So
Thank you for having us. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, ladies.
I don't eat lobsters on a cheap date. So.
And I'm gonna tell you, I got a very strange feeling you guys will be coming back.
Yes, you guys will. I love you all. That's right. Especially with that website and every lot of stuff. We're gonna want you to come back, all right?
Yes.
Love you both, all right? Talk to you later. Have a good night, ladies. Peace.
Good night, ladies. Thank you again.
All right. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. You know, a lot of fun. I told you it was gonna bring it, man. It was always a good conversation with young ladies, man. I love it, man. Like, you know, and see, we very like so for people think we always mean on women. Look what we just did.
No, that's very good. Very good.
Yeah, that was good, man. So, I think we're going to sports. Jamie, what do we want? Jamie, you want me to go to sports? Talk to me, Jamie, because we can give me a heads up. So, yes, okay, we're going to sports. That's what I got from my super intelligent and wonderful producer, Jamie. Nashville Predators prospect Luke, I don't know how you say, Proclock, says he's gay. Came out the closet. He's a prospect. He's not in the NFL, NHL. Jamie, can you play the video to that?
Hi, everyone. While the past year and a half has been crazy, it has also given me the chance to find my true self. I'm no longer scared to hide who I am. Today, I'm proud to publicly tell everyone that I'm gay.
So, Luke, why is now the right time for you to come out?
I came home from Calgary after my season ended because of COVID. I was lying in bed one night, just deleted a dating app for the 4th or 5th time, and I was just extremely frustrated because I couldn't be my true authentic self.
Somebody just burned something.
So that's our brother Luke came out. Thoughts on that?
You know what? I don't have a problem with him because let me tell you something. At least he came out now, and I would think. And I don't know much about the, it's the NHL. I don't know much about the culture there, but if I was a teammate of his, I would want to know. It's the guys. To me, it's the down low guys that you have the most problem with. You know, you've been with this guy, you've been showering with this guy, you've been around him for maybe seasons, and then you find out later that, you know, he had these proclivities and everything. I think that would be more of an issue than if, you know, you knew at least coming into it that that he had different sexuality from you. That
can I play devil's advocate on that real quick? So one of it says none of your business. Like what's that? Ask, don't tell. So don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, back there. One says none of your business. What does it matter that if he's gay or not?
No, I mean, listen. I think you're right on one level.
I mean, openly gay. I'm saying like what?
Openly gay, yeah. But you're giving someone an opportunity to know how they feel, because you got to understand it's a sports team. You know, there's this chemistry that goes on there. You know, and it's a delicate balance. And you got to let people know you have to bring your best self. You have to bring all of your truth to the table early on, so people can search themselves and can figure out how you can fit into the atmosphere and everything, and how people can react with you. So it's a little different, you know. I mean, I don't have a problem with him being gay. I don't have a problem with, you know, homosexuality. Who you go to bed with it is who you love. Is who you love. It's not. I'm not interested, to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, D. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying one of somebody's. So would you want everybody on your team to be an open racist?
I don't have a problem with open racist.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's like I'm just saying, like, something. No, I appreciate open racist my damn self. I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to play a little devil advocate. That's all.
Well, what I'm saying is, I'll be honest with you. I'm tired of hearing this. Like, seriously, I'm tired of these announcements and all stuff like that. It's 2021. We see so much of this now. I don't know why it's this big. You know what I'm saying? To me, what it does, and this is the way I look at it. I think some people garner some of the attention because right now it seems like it is advantageous for people to do this. And sometimes people even get sympathy from people or even more opportunity with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, you look at the NBA, when Jason Collins came out, he was retired. They brought him back into the league, and he had a #1 selling jersey. This kid is on the bubble and may have opportunity to make the league. If the league is like, yo, this would be good for our league. If it is, I don't know if it is, then that may be advantageous. I don't know that everybody is doing this just because they've had this reckoning moment. Some people, I think, just really want some of the attention that goes along with it. I don't know the experience of it. I will never know the experience of it. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, these big grand announcements, man, go ahead and just live your life. The dudes on the team will know. You don't never bring no women around. You don't never want to talk to them about it. All the stuff like that. Who you're with is your business, I would assume. And that's just it. I mean, to me, for you to be, you're not even in the NHL. You're on the farm team, and here we go with a big announcement. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't even guaranteed to be, in the top spot as a pro. Yeah. Yeah. So to me, I don't really particularly want to hear about this no more. It's not 30 years ago where it was unheard of. This, I mean, dudes walking down the street in Manhattan with pocketbooks in their hand and the dude's back pocket. Like, I mean, to me, it don't feel like earth-shattering news no more. It's anticlimactic now to me. You know what I'm saying?
Rodney, your thoughts? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I got some thoughts. I look at it like this, right? Coming out announcing that you're gay is not an easy thing, right? I'm pretty sure that we're aware of that. But the thing is, too, sometimes people come out for themselves. Can you imagine walking around every day and not being able to be who you really are openly and have to pretend? You know what I'm saying? I don't pretend ever who I am. I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? But I can only imagine if I had to pretend to be somebody else besides Rodney 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? To me, I think that would be very difficult. And basically it probably would eat away at me, knowing the person I am.
Rodney, what is he having to pretend? Who's he having to pretend to?
No, the thing is, he has to pretend to himself. He is basically being somebody and has to be somebody that he's not in front of other people and his teammates. To me personally, his sexuality, I agree, is his business. And I'll be honest with you, I work with people that I were actually very close friends, and one particular person came out to me later. I was her supervisor. And the thing is, I kind of already knew anyway, but I didn't judge her for basically her sexuality. I judged her because she was a mad cool person. So it didn't change our relationship. I went to her wedding or whatever. But the thing is, me working with her, I didn't feel like you have to tell me. It's not my business to know what she does when she goes home. So, and I say the same thing with the 10. I kind of disagree with Derik saying that you need to tell me. No, you don't need to tell me. Either you like me for who I am or what we built so far, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to come and tell me. That's a very personal thing. Society has not made it easy for people to come out in this country. You basically are coming out. You're going to be maybe laughed at more. You're going to be ridiculed. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy task, but it's not an easy task to continue to live and be somebody that you're not.
Right, but what I'm saying is today it is so prevalent. Like that's it.
The times are changing. That's why, Kelvin. And I'm tell you right now, this is not going to be the last person that's going to do this. This is going to build momentum and more people.
I'm saying probably 10 years from now, to somebody announcing that they heterosexual going to be the news. That's gonna be.
Listen, I was gonna come out tonight. I was gonna tell you guys I'm coming out. I identify as a white man. I am addicted to Cracker Barrel. I have good credit.
Yeah,
I'm a white man. I drink scotch.
D has come out to me before.
No, you're drinking Jägermeister.
You say
D has come out to me before. And he's correct. He wants to identify as a white man with very good credit or over 800 credit score. He wants to be an investor. He wants to buy numerous properties, and he wants to be in Forbes. So he's identifying with that.
Well, if I did that, I got to
admit. We talked about that. So he's told me,
And I lost my rhythm.
Well, my press report don't allow me to identify with that. So.
Goddamn Jamie trying to be in the sneak chats of I wear secret. Damn it, I wear secret. I love secret. I love secret deodorant. I'm actually a white man identified as a white woman that wear secret.
And he goes by the nickname of Tender Pits. He has very tender armpits.
I said, don't tender, man. My shit's real tender, man. Speaking of tender people,
let me say this. One last
thing. Go ahead.
We may my view may be slanted because we're in New York. There are other parts of maybe the country and in the world that is not as prevalent. But here, I mean, we're like inundated with it so much, so it doesn't seem as shocking. But you know, I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead, D.
Now, speaking of tender, Saquon Barkley, you know, he suffered an injury and he got hurt. Saquon Barkley accepted a future endorsement in Bitcoin. I think he wants to get all his endorsements, I believe, not just this one, but all of his endorsements in Bitcoin instead of taking cash rules everything around me. Thoughts?
You want me to go?
Go ahead, Brett. Anybody's open.
Well,
he's on the edge, man.
You guys know that you know, I invest a lot. So the bottom line is I can see where he's going with it. And I'm actually very pleased that he's going in that direction because it keeps continuing to show me that cryptocurrency is the future. I've had conversations with you guys as well. You know, yeah, people saying, oh, Bitcoin crashed the other day. And guess what? It came right back today. So the thing is, it is the future. It's not going anywhere. So it seems to me like Mr. Barkley is very smart and he's getting ahead of the curve. He is going to be a very wealthy man because if you own crypto, you're getting paid in crypto, then that means the value of that piece that they give you is going to continue to go up. So if he got it at, basically, we just throwing numbers out here at $7, then basically he holds on to it. And next thing you know, it could be $20,000. So his pay continues.
Or it could be negative. So
it could be.
I agree with you, but to a certain
no.
On it. I'll let you finish.
No, D, you're not wrong. You're right. In investing, there is chances. Mm-hmm. You can definitely take a loss and you can take a beating. But in my opinion, I think that cryptocurrency is the future and it's here to stay. It's going to continue to go up. Now there'll be days it's going to go down. That's just the stock market. That's just how things work. But I think at this point it's going to continue to go up.
This is the only reason I don't agree with you all the way. Like I'll say I'll take partial of my money in cash. And the reason why it was a billionaire Chinese dude recently, I think it was a week or so too. He had all invested in crypto, and governments are changing because it burns so much energy. And when the government shut down in China, he lost all of his money. So I'm thinking if government regulates this and they shut down, less technology gets better when you don't have to burn so much energy. The technology gets better, then I can see it. But if they start putting rules in, like, and they start cracking down, like busting, like it was prohibition, coming in, knocking down all your servers and all this other stuff that generate, it could be he could lose a lot of bread. Yeah, if he puts all his money in that joint. If the law's paying.
No, that's true, and I know what story you're talking about. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I always notice something too, right? When there's something that they find is wrong with something, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to fix it because there's too much money involved. They're going to fix it. They're going to correct it. It's not going to burn so much energy. And the bottom line, they're already doing it now. They already changed the rule on Bitcoin that's going to go into effect in November that has to do with the energy being burned. So they're already working on it. They're already ahead of the curve. When there's something that's going to make a lot of money, they're going to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this. I'm a Jets fan, not a Giants fan, but I do know running backs' careers are very, very short. And to me, I think Dee's question makes sense, which is, why would you put all of your money into anything? I mean, you say all, but I think he looks at it like
his endorsement money, not his.
Yeah, he's going to bank on his NFL money, and he's right now trying to get off of that rookie contract. So this is a big year for him because he's just coming back for an injury. So whether he does it or not, I'll be fine living with it. And at the end of the day,
you're a hater. You just want to see him hurt. You just want to see him hurt. Well, you heard that shit, right? You heard that Jake shit coming out, right?
He said you a hater. You just want to see him hurt.
I'm trying to diss the Jets. That's what it is. I'm tired of y'all trying to diss the Jets. We want our respect. So do what you need to do. Running back.
Now, like I said, I don't think it's that risky. I really don't think it's a bad decision. I really don't.
Cryptocurrency is up 300. I mean, Bitcoin is up like 300% since this time last year. So
last
year still not back to where it was.
Last year was a wash. Let's keep it a buck. That was
Listen, well, it's still even right now. Even if you went back before that, right now will be considered the high for even the year before that. And earlier this year, it was double than what it was now. So it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but that's one thing is Bitcoin. But we look at the Dogecoin, right? It was up 70 cents when it first was like 0.0%. Now down to what? 7 cents.
Dogecoin is not a good comparison because Dogecoin.
I'm just saying. What I'm saying. What I want to be clear to people. I want to be clear to people. We don't know if his is in Bitcoin. It could be some other kind of cryptocurrency. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's what I'm saying. He could be in a fucked up cryptocurrency and he's fucking assed out. Well, in his career, football players' careers only last.
I'm going to lean towards in his position. He's probably got some decent financial advisors behind him.
Yeah. Hope so.
I don't think this is a decision that he just made up when he woke up today. I don't think so. I think that it's like 50 Cent. Like 50 Cent has made some great investments based on people advising him and steering him in the right
Hope they don't have Antoine Walker's advisors. You'll see him on Team Puerto Rico running the ball in a minute. I'm just saying. We hope. We don't know. We just hope all this stuff for him right now.
Yeah. But there will be ups and downs in any investment. That's always remember that.
Yeah. Well, like you might invest in those collard green smoothies shop or something like that.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you one thing: if you invest in fireworks in Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, people make a ton of money.
You're gonna be paid. You're gonna get paid. I wish Hood Fireworks was on the stock market. I'll be in it.
Yeah, right.
And the last in our entertainment news, our show we grew to love a few years ago is starting to let us down. The Shy. We talked about this before, how they killing masculinity, and it seemed like they're just putting gasoline on the goddamn fire on that agenda. And anybody want to take it first before I weigh in on the Shy?
Yeah, I couldn't get past. I think I said before I couldn't get past the third episode of this season. And they hadn't even gotten really deep to where it is right now, but I just didn't like the direction that it was going in. It just wasn't the Shy anymore. You could see that it was just changing, it was the year off or whatever it was. It just lost that certain something that really got me into it. And you see what's trending in terms of opinions regarding the Shy. I'm not surprised. I couldn't speak much more to it because I haven't really watched it past that third episode, and now I definitely don't have any interest in the show. Maybe I'll check it out, to see what the everything is about. But we'll see.
Yeah, Rodney.
Yeah. I'm not feeling the Shy anymore. This last episode was continued to prove my theory on the show. It is a major demasculation campaign. Every dude in the show is getting dogged out. And the thing is, they continue to paint the men that despite them being dogged out, they should continue to chase them and, cater to them. And even when you didn't do anything wrong, my man Papa is getting dogged out. Kelvin's getting dogged out. My man Emmett is just getting shitted on. It's just crazy. And then you got the dude that works in the thrift shop with Keisha. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. You know what I'm saying? And in that situation with Keisha and the guy in the thrift shop, this guy's young. Keisha's been through some severe trauma. You know what I'm saying? And she's not healed yet. She's got a new baby. Like a young guy taking on something like that, to me, like that's not a good idea. She's not finished healing yet. You know what I'm saying? But he's chasing her. He's catering to her. But she's got a lot of trauma and a lot of things she's trying to fight.
But Rodney, now I don't watch the show, but I'm assuming life is going good for the dude. He works in a thrift shop, first of all, and he was somebody named Keisha.
It's getting really bad. Like Emmett's wife, in my opinion, it seems like the relationship is so damaged that the marriage probably needs to end because it doesn't seem that she's interested in coming back to the marriage. You kind of look at it too, because the show it shows, a tremendous amount of woman power. But like I said, I don't have no problem with woman power. But when it comes to basically dogging somebody out, it's a different scenario. You notice that she got a problem with Emmett for what he did, but she's cool with everybody that he slept with.
Yeah.
You think about it, like she's still cool with Lala, right? And they actually in business together. And then she's cool with Keisha, and Emmett used to mess with Keisha too.
And she was okay with the baby mothers in the first few years. First season. Remember they all got together.
Yeah,
and they,
correct.
Yeah, so,
correct.
But, and the reason, yeah, go ahead.
It's just that it shows like basically she's kind of saying, "Nah, we're gonna stick together as women, but we're gonna dog this dude out." You know what I'm saying? That's just how I see it. You know?
And the reason why we bring it, I know we talked about the shot before, but we got a lot of replays on the shot. A lot of people were checking it out, and it's one of the trending topics on YouTube with our page and some other shows that are not as good as Let's Chop It Up. But people are also witnessing the same thing. So people, before you say we're gay bashing and all this other stuff like that, we're not doing it as what people are talking about. Is what we are witnessing as men. So before anybody say anything with that, but
if you do have a problem with it, write to D in the comments.
That's right. You can come at me all day. Please come at me. Come at us on our Let's Chop It Up YouTube page. We're all cool with all that kind of crazy stuff. But now the shot is falling off. This might be my last season, to be honest.
It may be my last season too.
You guys are opting out.
I think I might have to opt out.
We're gonna opt out. The thing is, this was the thing that really gave me like the final straw when Emmett. Here come my man.
Holy
my man is streaking.
Oh my shit. Oh my God. He took the roof off and said, fuck, I'm letting the girls come out tonight, goddamn. He said, fuck, y'all gonna get some white titties tonight.
Oh my God.
You don't know what you're getting with Let's Chop It Up, man. You're giving it the raw, uncut funk right up here.
Derik, stay there until he comes back and goes so we don't get banned on YouTube and shit.
Derik, take that man to the beach. Get that man some, get his titties brown, goddamn. Get that man some goddamn tan lines, man. Come on, man. Get that man some tan lines.
D, you're gonna kill me right now, too. Oh my God.
Get that man some goddamn tan, goddamn. That man living in a black house walking around looking like a white ghost.
It's my house, goddamn it. I respect my house.
Boo! That motherfucker came out. Yo, serious, your kids might get scared. That man walk out with no shirt on in the middle of the night. He got the nightlight on.
Oh, man. Listen, man. Yo, I'm proud to come stuff late at night, man. He's getting my white shit, man.
Oh, God, man. I got me crying, man. Fuck man. I lost my train of thought.
Let me cover for my light-skinned comrade Derik, man. Yo, I'm gonna keep it pushing on about this guy thing.
Go with the shot.
This was my last straw, right?
Oh shit!
They played Emmett.
Fuck me up. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry, right? Go ahead.
They played Emmett so hard. She called him while she was with the other dude.
Oh yeah,
and the dude was in the background screaming what he could hear him on the phone.
Playing him.
Played him, and then the next day she stays out all night, tells him he ain't coming home, right? And then he cooks her breakfast the next day. That is insane.
Then he played the roles of the Love Jones, though.
Then he did role play with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. This is insane right here. No normal man would tolerate something like that.
Yeah, she belongs to the
out with another dude, spends the night out with him. He comes in, he gonna make her breakfast.
This is unreal. This is unreal.
It's unreal.
This has become she's the Tyler Perry of LGBTQ. You want to attack a male masculinity?
Wait. My man Papa throws a party for his queen.
Word.
And she's with another dude throughout the whole party.
Word.
Well, you guys have certainly made this show appealing, boy. I tell you.
Nah, we can't
believe what I've been missing.
This is not good, man.
It fell off, man. Anyway, man. But anyhow, brothers, this was a great night tonight on Let's Chop It Up, man. People, please like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Comment. We always respond. The good, the bad, the ugly. We love you all. And peace, brothers. I love you. See you next week. Peace, 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 and peace.